Our planet still holds places so extreme and surreal that they seem almost impossible to believe. In this episode, we travel to remote landscapes where nature reveals its most astonishing and unexpected creations. Hidden within the vast deserts of western China, Kahan Salt Lake glows with an unreal shade of turquoise and emerald, creating a shimmering landscape that looks more like a dream than a natural lake. Far away in Indonesia, Tanah Barak Beach welcomes visitors through a dramatic road carved deep into towering earth walls, an incredible passage where steep cliffs rise on both sides, creating a narrow corridor that feels both breathtaking and slightly intimidating. And in the icy wilderness of Iceland lies Vatnajökull Glacier's ice caves, where glowing blue chambers formed by ancient ice create a frozen world so beautiful it resembles a scene from a fantasy kingdom. These extraordinary corners of Earth remind us that nature still holds wonders beyond imagination. But the real question is, how many other hidden landscapes like these are still waiting to be discovered? Join us as we explore the extreme edges of our world. Kahan Salt Lake. In the remote expanse of the Kaidam Basin, Kahan Salt Lake unfolds like a vision from another planet, spanning more than 5,800 square kilometers, making it the largest salt lake in China. Its striking palette, deep turquoise pools against endless white salt flats, comes from dense mineral brines rich in lithium, magnesium, and potassium formed over tens of millions of years as ancient seas evaporated under an arid climate. From the air, geometric channels and fractured crusts resemble a frozen alien ocean. Beneath this beauty lies a fragile surface. Salt layers, sometimes only a few feet thick, can suddenly collapse under weight, posing real danger to visitors and workers. Yet, humans have adapted, constructing narrow transport routes and extraction systems that seem to float across the lake. Kahan is now a critical hub for lithium production, powering modern batteries and global technology. For travelers, it offers a surreal silence, where science, industry, and natural wonder converge in one of Earth's most extreme landscapes. Carved into the frozen earth of Mirny, the Mirny mine is a colossal scar visible even from space, plunging over 1,700 feet deep and stretching nearly 1 mile across. Discovered in 1955 during a Soviet geological survey, this open-pit diamond mine quickly became one of the largest on Earth. Its spiraling terraced roads wind downward like a massive vortex, where trucks once spent nearly 2 hours descending to the bottom. The extreme Siberian climate, where winter temperatures drop below -40 degrees Fahrenheit, turns the ground rock solid, complicating excavation. Yet the greatest danger comes from powerful air currents. Helicopters are strictly banned after reports of downdrafts pulling aircraft toward the pit. Despite these risks, Mirny produced millions of carats of diamonds, fueling an entire city built around its edge. Today, it stands as both an industrial marvel and a haunting reminder of humanity's relentless reach into the depths of the planet. Tanah Barak Beach. Hidden along the rugged cliffs of Bali, Tanah Barak Beach reveals itself through a dramatic man-made corridor carved straight into limestone. This narrow road, cut over several years and completed in the early 21st century, slices through towering rock walls rising more than 30 feet on either side, creating a canyon-like gateway to the sea. Engineers faced constant risks of rockfall and structural collapse during excavation, especially in Bali's tropical climate, where erosion accelerates instability. Today, the road serves both as access and spectacle, drawing visitors into a surreal passage that feels almost subterranean. Yet warnings remain. Looser sukhur and sudden landslides are real dangers, reminding travelers that this breathtaking path is still a fragile balance between nature and human ambition. Bivaco Buffa di Pereiro. Perched high in the jagged heart of the Dolomites, Bivaco Buffa di Pereiro clings to a near-vertical rock face at an altitude of over 8,000 feet above sea level. Built in the early 20th century, during the era of World War I Alpine warfare, this tiny metal shelter was originally designed as a strategic refuge for soldiers navigating one of Europe's most unforgiving mountain fronts. The surrounding terrain is brutally steep, shaped by millions of years of tectonic uplift and glacial erosion, while temperatures can drop well below freezing even in summer, with winds exceeding 60 miles per hour. Constructing this structure required hauling materials across sheer cliffs using ropes and primitive pulleys, an engineering feat of pure human endurance. Today, it serves as a daring waypoint for expert climbers, offering minimal protection in a landscape where a single misstep can mean a fall of hundreds of feet. Isolated, exposed, and suspended between sky and stone, it stands as a stark symbol of survival, reminding visitors that in places like this, nature always holds the final authority. Yellow River. Flowing for more than 3,400 miles across northern China, the Yellow River is both a cradle of civilization and a force of raw, untamed power. Its signature golden hue comes from vast quantities of fine loess sediment, among the highest sediment loads of any river on Earth, giving the water a thick, almost liquid earth appearance. In peak flood seasons, the river can carry over 1 billion tons of silt each year, raising its bed and intensifying its notoriously violent flow. From above, the river twists like a colossal serpent, its muddy currents contrasting dramatically against the surrounding terrain. Visitors standing near its banks can feel the ground tremble with the river's energy, but this proximity comes with risk. Sudden floods and unstable embankments have earned it the name China's Sorrow. Yet, despite its dangers, the river remains a vital lifeline, sustaining agriculture, culture, and history, an enduring symbol of both creation and destruction. Vatnajökull Glacier's ice caves. Beneath the vast frozen expanse of Vatnajökull Glacier, the largest glacier in Iceland, lies a hidden world of shimmering blue ice caves that feel almost otherworldly. Formed over thousands of years, these caves are sculpted each winter as glacial meltwater carves tunnels through dense ice layers, compressing air bubbles and creating crystal-clear walls that glow in deep shades of sapphire and turquoise. Some chambers stretch over 100 feet long, with ceilings arching like frozen cathedrals. The glacier itself covers nearly 3,000 square miles, resting atop active volcanoes, making it a rare fusion of fire and ice geology. Inside, Temperatures hover just below freezing, preserving delicate formations that shift and collapse with the changing seasons. Visitors can only explore these caves during winter months, when the ice is most stable. Yet even then, sudden cracks and floods pose real risks. Stepping inside, travelers enter a silent, luminous realm shaped by pressure, time, and nature's hidden forces, a fleeting masterpiece that vanishes and reforms year after year. Monsel Sea Forts. Rising from the cold, restless waters of the North Sea, the Monsel Sea Forts stand like relics from another world, isolated, rusting giants anchored miles offshore. Built in the early 1940s during World War II, these steel structures were designed as anti-aircraft defense platforms, each tower elevated on spindly legs above the sea, connected by narrow walkways that once held soldiers, radar equipment, and heavy artillery. Positioned up to 7 miles from shore, they faced relentless waves, corrosive salt water, and fierce winds that could exceed 50 miles per hour. Over decades, exposure to oxygen and seawater triggered oxidation, turning their surfaces into deep shades of red-brown rust, giving them an eerie, almost extraterrestrial appearance. From above, they resemble mechanical skeletons scattered across the ocean. Now abandoned, the forts remain dangerously unstable, with collapsing platforms and shifting tides posing serious risks to curious explorers. Yet they endure as haunting monuments, symbols of wartime innovation, isolation, and the fragile boundary between human engineering and the overwhelming power of the sea. Badain Jaran Desert. Rising from the heart of Badain Jaran Desert, a landscape of extremes unfolds, where silence, scale, and science collide. Here stand some of the tallest stationary dunes on Earth, reaching heights of nearly 500 meters, sculpted over thousands of years by shifting winds and ancient geological forces. Yet hidden among these golden giants lie more than 100 mysterious lakes, their colors ranging from deep emerald to surreal crimson, shaped by mineral-rich groundwater and evaporation cycles. annual rainfall barely reaches 100 millimeters, while summer temperatures can soar beyond 104 degrees Fahrenheit. Despite its harshness, this desert has drawn explorers for centuries, and today, only a handful of travelers venture into its remote beauty each year, seeking a place where nature rewrites the rules of life and landscape. Haidushan. In the remote reaches of Haidushan, a surreal world emerges, one that feels less like Earth and more like a monochrome dream. Known as the Black Volcano Mountain, this stark terrain was shaped by ancient volcanic activity and millions of years of erosion, leaving behind waves of jet-black rock and ash-like sediment. Unlike typical deserts, Haidushan reflects almost no light, creating a haunting contrast under skies that stretch endlessly blue. Rainfall here averages less than 2 inches per year, while temperatures swing dramatically between freezing winters and scorching summers above 100 degrees Fahrenheit. With no vegetation and almost no sound, the silence is absolute. Only in recent years have travelers begun to arrive, drawn by its alien beauty, where every step feels like crossing into another world, untouched and almost unreal. Skeleton Coast. At the desolate edge of Skeleton Coast, the ancient Namib Desert collides with the icy Atlantic, forming one of Earth's most unforgiving frontiers. Cold currents from the Benguela Current generate dense fog up to 200 days a year, while rainfall remains below 1 inch annually. Since the 15th century, dozens of ships have run aground here, trapped by hidden sandbars, violent surf, and near-zero visibility. Their rusting skeletons now scatter the coast, slowly swallowed by shifting dunes. Yet life endures. Tens of thousands of Cape Fur seal gather along the shore, while seabirds glide above, thriving in a place where desert and ocean exist in stark, surreal balance. Dahyden Emerald Lake. Hidden deep within the high-altitude plains of Dahyden Emerald Lake, an otherworldly mosaic of color stretches across what was once an ancient inland sea. Formed over millions of years through evaporation and mineral concentration, this landscape now consists of dozens of small, irregular lakes, each shimmering in shades of emerald green, turquoise, and pale jade. The colors are not illusion, but chemistry. High concentrations of lithium salts, magnesium, and potash refract sunlight differently in each pool. Sitting at an elevation of over 10,000 feet, the region receives less than 2 inches of rainfall annually, yet intense solar radiation amplifies its brilliance. Once an industrial salt extraction site, Dakhaidan has transformed into a surreal destination where visitors walk along narrow salt ridges, witnessing a terrain that feels less like Earth and more like a fragment of another planet. Yamal Peninsula. Stretching into the Arctic waters of Yamal Peninsula, this frozen land tells a story written in ice and time. Formed over tens of thousands of years by advancing and retreating glaciers, its surface is locked in permafrost that can reach depths of more than 1,000 feet. Winter temperatures plunge below -50 degrees Fahrenheit, while summer briefly softens the tundra into a mosaic of wetlands. Here, vast herds of reindeer, numbering in the hundreds of thousands, migrate across the peninsula, guided by the nomadic Nenets people. Occasionally, the thawing ground reveals astonishing relics, perfectly preserved remains of ancient woolly mammoth trapped in ice for over 10,000 years. In this extreme frontier, life endures where the past and present remain frozen together. Boiling Lake. Tucked within the rugged volcanic peaks of Boiling Lake, this rare geothermal wonder simmers with relentless energy. Formed by rainwater filling a collapsed volcanic vent, the lake is heated from below by rising magma and trapped steam, creating a flooded fumarole unlike almost anywhere else on Earth. Its surface temperature often ranges from 180 to just under 200 degrees Fahrenheit, enough to send constant clouds of vapor spiraling into the sky. Roughly 200 feet wide, it ranks as the second largest boiling lake in the world. Reaching it demands a challenging hike of nearly 6 miles across steep ridges and dense rainforest. Yet the journey comes with risk. Sudden steam bursts, unstable ground, and extreme heat make this surreal landscape as dangerous as it is unforgettable. Gardar B64. Resting in silent decay along the shores of Gardar B64, this rusting vessel stands as a haunting relic of the North Atlantic's unforgiving past. Built in the early 20th century and later abandoned after mechanical failure, the ship ran aground near Patreksfjordur, where shifting tides and shallow coastal waters sealed its fate. For decades, relentless winds, salt spray, and freezing temperatures, often dropping below 32 degrees Fahrenheit, have stripped it to its skeletal frame. The surrounding landscape, shaped by volcanic forces and glacial carving over thousands of years, adds to its stark isolation. Today, visitors travel miles across remote Icelandic terrain to witness this frozen moment in time, where history, nature, and memory converge in a scene both desolate and strangely beautiful. Lake Superior. Spanning the border between the United States and Canada, Lake Superior is the largest freshwater lake by surface area on Earth, covering over 31,000 square miles. Formed more than 1 billion years ago through volcanic rifting and later carved by glaciers, its vast basin holds nearly 10% of the world's surface fresh water. Even in summer, water temperatures rarely rise above 55 degrees Fahrenheit. Powerful winds generate waves exceeding 20 feet, shaping shores scattered with vividly colored stones, reds, greens, and blues, polished over centuries. With visibility reaching depths of over 80 feet, its crystal-clear waters reveal a world both beautiful and formidable. Chukotka. At the far northeastern edge of Chukotka, a land of isolation and extremes stretches between snowbound mountains and the icy Bering Sea. Shaped over millions of years by tectonic forces and glaciation, this remote region remains one of the least populated places on Earth, with fewer than 50,000 residents across an area larger than Texas. Winter temperatures routinely fall below -40 degrees Fahrenheit, while blizzards can blanket entire settlements in white. Scattered Soviet-era buildings, once built for mining, military outposts, and scientific research, stand as stark reminders of human ambition in a frozen frontier. Surrounded by endless tundra and ice, Chukotka exists in near total isolation, where survival depends on resilience in one of the harshest climates on the planet. Tiantang River. Along the eastern edge of Tiantang River, one of the world's most powerful tidal bores surges upstream with astonishing force. Driven by the funnel-shaped Hangzhou Bay and the gravitational pull of the moon, this phenomenon can generate waves reaching up to 30 feet in height, racing inland at speeds of nearly 25 miles per hour. Formed over thousands of years by sediment buildup and shifting coastlines, the river's unique geography amplifies its energy into a roaring wall of water. Each year, thousands of spectators gather to witness this natural spectacle, standing just yards away as the wave crashes forward. Yet the beauty comes with danger. Sudden surges and strong currents have swept away the unprepared, making caution essential in the face of such raw power. South Pole Station. At the frozen heart of Antarctica stands Amundsen Scott South Pole Station, one of the most isolated scientific outposts on Earth. Positioned at 90 degrees south latitude, it sits atop nearly 10,000 feet of compacted ice, accumulated over millions of years. Temperatures here can plunge below -100 degrees Fahrenheit during winter, while 6 months of continuous darkness envelop the station. Built on elevated supports to prevent burial by drifting snow, its structures serve as laboratories for climate research, astrophysics, and ice core studies that reveal Earth's ancient atmosphere. Fewer than 150 people inhabit the station year-round, completely cut off for months. In this endless white expanse, survival depends on precision, resilience, and the pursuit of knowledge at the very edge of the world. Wadi Rum. In the southern reaches of Wadi Rum, a landscape forged over more than 500 million years rises from the desert like a monument to deep time. Once submerged beneath ancient oceans, layers of sandstone and granite were lifted and carved by wind erosion into towering cliffs, arches, and narrow canyons, some soaring over 1,500 feet. Iron oxide and mineral deposits stain the rock in shifting hues of crimson, amber, and gold, changing dramatically with the angle of the sun. Rainfall averages less than 2 inches per year, while temperatures can climb above 100 degrees Fahrenheit by day before dropping sharply after sunset. Despite its harshness, the valley has long been home to Bedouin communities who navigate its vast terrain with remarkable precision. Today, travelers cross this otherworldly expanse by jeep or camel, tracing routes through a desert that feels less like Earth and more like a living relic of planetary history. Destroyed town in Kazakhstan. In the wind-swept heart of Kazakhstan lies a haunting relic of human ambition. Once a thriving town, now reduced to skeletal ruins swallowed by silence. Decades ago, this settlement stood as a vital node in a vast industrial network, shaped by Soviet-era planning and rapid expansion. At its peak, more than 10,000 residents lived among concrete apartment blocks and rigid utilitarian architecture. But when economic collapse struck in the early 1990s, supply chains fractured, industries failed, and the population vanished almost overnight. Harsh continental winds, often exceeding 40 miles per hour, now carve through hollow buildings, accelerating decay. Winters plunge below -30 degrees Celsius, freezing time itself. Today, crumbling facades, rusted machinery, and empty streets form a stark landscape, an accidental monument to collapse, where nature quietly reclaims what human hands once built with urgency and belief. Upper Mustang. Hidden beyond the towering Himalayas in the remote kingdom of Upper Mustang, a surreal landscape rises from the earth. Vast cliffs of red sandstone carved by time into formations that resemble a colossal honeycomb. From a distance, these ancient cave systems appear like clustered beehives, but step inside, and a labyrinth unfolds, tight, twisting tunnels stretching across more than 10 kilometers in some sections. Scientists estimate that many of these caves were first excavated over 2,500 years ago, long before written history reached this isolated region. Perched at elevations above 12,000 feet, the caves were not merely shelters. They served as burial chambers, meditation retreats, and later, fortified dwellings during periods of conflict. Archaeological discoveries have revealed ancient manuscripts, Buddhist murals, and even remarkably preserved human remains, offering rare insight into early Himalayan civilization. Today, relentless wind erosion and subtle seismic activity continue to reshape the fragile red cliffs, reminding us that this breathtaking maze, part natural wonder, part human creation, is still evolving in silence, high above the world. Varia. On the edge of the volcanic wilderness near Varia, Earth feels alive beneath your feet. The ground here reaches temperatures exceeding 200 degrees Fahrenheit, hot enough to boil groundwater into violently bubbling mud pools. Sulfur-rich steam vents hiss constantly, releasing gases that paint the surface in streaks of yellow, orange, and deep rust. The terrain appears scarred and blistered, cracked clay, steaming fissures, and mineral crusts shifting under pressure. Some fumaroles emit gases at speeds nearing 30 miles per hour, creating an eerie, otherworldly soundtrack. Scientists warn that the crust in certain areas is only a few inches thick, making it dangerously unstable. Step in the wrong place, and you could break through into scalding mud. Varia is not just a landscape, it's a volatile reminder of the immense forces shaping our planet from below. Suspended above the rushing waters of the Hunza River in Husseini Hanging Bridge, one of the world's most precarious crossings stretches across nearly 200 meters of open air. Built from wooden planks and steel cables, many boards are spaced several inches apart or missing entirely, exposing the drop below. At over 100 feet above the river, strong valley winds can sway the bridge unpredictably. Originally constructed by local villagers for survival, not tourism, the bridge remains a vital link between isolated communities. Today, each step tests balance and nerve as the structure creaks beneath shifting weight. Safety warnings urge visitors to hold tight, move slowly, and never cross during high winds, because here, even a single misstep can turn awe into danger. In the heart of the Afar Triangle lies Danakil Desert, one of the hottest and most geologically extreme places on Earth. Here, daytime temperatures regularly exceed 120 degrees Fahrenheit, while the land itself sits more than 300 feet below sea level. This hostile terrain is shaped by the slow tearing apart of tectonic plates, where molten rock rises close to the surface. At sites like Dalol, hydrothermal activity creates surreal pools of neon yellow, green, and orange, formed by sulfur, salt, and iron deposits. Boiling springs and acidic vents release toxic gases, while the ground bubbles and crusts over in fragile layers. Some pools can reach temperatures above 190 degrees Fahrenheit. Scientists warn that the thin, unstable surface can collapse without warning, exposing scalding liquid beneath. Combined with extreme heat and poisonous fumes, the Danakil Desert is as dangerous as it is mesmerizing, a vivid glimpse into the raw forces still shaping our planet. Pitch Lake. On the southwest coast of Trinidad and Tobago lies Pitch Lake, the largest natural deposit of asphalt on Earth, covering over 100 acres. Formed by petroleum forced upward through deep geological faults, lighter elements evaporate, leaving behind a dense, sticky surface that looks solid, but moves slowly, almost like breathing ground. In some areas, the asphalt softens under the tropical heat of nearly 90 degrees Fahrenheit, creating bubbling pools that release methane gas. These pockets can occasionally ignite, producing brief, eerie flames dancing across the surface. Walkers may feel the ground shift slightly beneath their feet, as if the earth itself were alive. For more than 100 years, this lake has been mined for asphalt used in roads worldwide. Yet scientists warn that stepping off stable paths can be dangerous. The surface may appear firm, but beneath it can swallow weight without warning. Lop Nur. Deep within the arid expanse of Lop Nur lies a vanished lake turned merciless desert, one of the most unforgiving landscapes on Earth. Once a vital oasis along the ancient Silk Road, Lop Nur dried up over the past 2,000 years, leaving behind a vast basin of salt flats and wind-carved sandstone. Summer temperatures soar above 110 degrees Fahrenheit, while annual rainfall remains below 1 inch. Powerful winds sculpt the terrain into sharp ridges known as yardangs, stretching for miles like frozen waves of stone. The air is so dry that dehydration can begin within hours. This region later became a remote testing site, further isolating it from human access. Today, crossing Lop Nur is extremely dangerous. There is no fresh water, no shelter, and no margin for error. It stands as a stark reminder of how quickly nature can transform life-giving land into a hostile void. Far above the Arctic Circle in Norilsk, one of the world's northernmost cities rises from a frozen industrial frontier. Founded in the early 1930s as a Soviet labor camp, Norilsk was built to exploit vast deposits of nickel, copper, and palladium buried beneath the permafrost. Today, more than 170,000 people live here, enduring winters that last over 9 months, with temperatures plunging below -40 degrees Fahrenheit. The city's architecture reflects survival over beauty. Rows of concrete apartment blocks engineered to withstand relentless winds and shifting frozen ground. For nearly 2 months each year, the sun never rises, plunging the city into polar night. Despite its harshness, Norilsk remains a critical hub for global metal production. Yet heavy industry has left lasting scars, with pollution levels among the highest on Earth. It stands as both a testament to human endurance and a stark warning about the cost of industrial ambition in extreme environments. Kayatur Falls. Hidden deep within the rainforest of Kayatur Falls, one of the world's most powerful single-drop waterfalls plunges dramatically into a mist-filled gorge. With a height of 741 feet, it is nearly 5 times taller than Niagara Falls. At peak flow, more than 23,000 cubic feet of water per second crash over the edge, generating a constant roar that echoes through the jungle. Formed over millions of years by the slow erosion of sandstone and conglomerate rock, the falls sit atop the Potaro River, cutting through ancient terrain. Despite its immense power, Kayatur remains remarkably untouched, with no large-scale development nearby. For indigenous communities, it holds deep cultural meaning, tied to legends of sacrifice and respect for nature. Today, it stands as a breathtaking symbol of raw, uncontained natural force.